Hi everyone, this is Thai's Fishing Tackle Industry channel. Today I would like to speak with you about the tariffs. So there in the news, there are a lot of discussions and many news, many informations about the US and especially in relation with the China. So made in China products has a lot higher tax rates and so on. But in the news, the tax rate will be higher, but probably most of you are in the fishing tackle industry and you are wondering how is the situation in relation to the fishing tackles. So here I try to summarize the informations available around me, and in the some data and some information and the actual tax ratio and so on. So please keep watching, and then please get some useful information for your future business growth. So now let's moving on. So first, as you know, in now we are in April 2025, and in the news, the President Trump is telling us that he's applying at the reciprocal tax. So this is quite big things, it seems. But currently, at the moment, we don't have any clear idea how and end up this gonna be happening. But we are now in a clear information. What is the actual situation? So from the March and on, so it's clearly stated in the official documents about the tax rate and so on. So I would like to explain based on the information which was published on the beginning of the March 2025. So, so first thing is most of the part is a summary about the so-called HS code and in relation to this HS code and to the tax ratio. So this is the basis of your understanding, and in the late half of this video is explaining about the Chinese products increase for the tax ratio. So first, let's go on. Before I start this, so I would like to mention that why I'm dealing with this China-US relationship is that most of the fishing tackle you see around you is made in China. And even for many of the JDM, Japanese lures, are made in China. Of course, some of the manufacturers are having their own facility in Japan and they're producing in Japan, but actually this China-US relationship has a big impact in the fishing tackle industry, even for the Japanese brands. So that's why I'm trying to explain the situation here at this moment. And okay, let's moving on about the tax ratio. So here I got a summary of the list here. So there I'm looking at some references here. So this list is summarizing the HS code far on the left, you see, and there on a standard percentage. So this is the standard tax ratio, which is applied to the products when you are importing your products into the US. So for example, their HS code is 9507.10.00. So this is the item category is of fishing rod, and it has the standard tax ratio of 6%. And so this is it basically. And there you can see other kind of information here. For example, on the see here on the third row here, HS code is 9507.20.80. So others hooks. So these are including hooks. So this has the standard ratio of 4.8% of the custom tax. But there far on the right, there's a special preferential percentage. So what does this mean is that for some countries, so U.S. government has given a granting especially low tax ratio, and for such countries, so for example, your hook is coming from such countries. So these products are especially, so the countries granted especially low. So here is a free 0%, and then you can reduce or well, let's go away the escape from the tax when you're importing it. So here in this list, for the hooks, Japan is included. So when you are importing the hooks made in Japan, so these hooks have no custom tax applied when you are importing the hooks from Japanese hooks into US. So you have a 0%, while so other standard percentage 4.8. So for example, you are importing the hooks from Europe, and then you have to pay 4.8% of the custom tax on the hooks. So this is the list. This kind of information is listed here. So, and then, okay, you see some are having the Japanese exemption or preferential percentage, fishing reels and fishing lines, and artificial baits too. So artificial baits is most of your interest. So these are including lures. And this has standard percentage of 9%. And for Japanese products, made in Japan lures are slightly lower percentage of the custom tax. This is 4.5%. Okay, so this is the actually current situation, let's say standard situation. And then understanding that, so from March and on, so the US government applied the special increase of the tax on the made in China products. So here in the news, so there are a lot of things. So in the news it sounds like everything is just going up because of this situation, but actually I was wondering what is the actual situation in the fishing tackle. So in this list here is summarizing that what kind of tax increase, special tax increase was applied under this for the made in China products from March 2025. So there you see on the far right of the list, there is a yes and no. So if this is marked with the yes, so then it is applied the additional tax of 7.5%. So in this list, so the order is the same. So based on the HS code, so the HS code is of, for example, Snell hooks, 9507 to 0.40. So this has the 4% standard, and then it has additional 7.5%. So this is what this list is saying. And there you see, okay, fishing rod actually doesn't have this additional tax. And also you see some of the low cost reels have no additional, and therefore on down there fishing nets and the other fishing tackles, so these are having no additional tax rate which was applied especially for the Chinese productions started in March 2025. So there you see quite, it's interesting thing that news sounds like that everything is just everything coming from China having a higher tax ratio than standard, but it seems you have to pay a lot of more attention for the details. Some products are not included for some reason, I don't know, but some are having this actual increase. So there you can consider for these points. So looking at your business, what you are importing from China, and then some are not applied without this special increase of the tax. So, and also, so looking at this, so made in China is something we are having the extra tax from March and on. So this meaning of made in China, you have to be a little bit careful. So for example, you are importing a tackle from Japan, okay, lures from Japan of the Japanese brand, for example. But if this lure of the Japanese branded lures made in China, so production is in China, then you have to pay this extra tax started from March and on. So that means, so this one thing is the point of production. So another thing is that, okay, the location of the company who is producing it. So this is different story. So you have to be careful, a little bit careful about that. And then looking at that, so if so products are not produced in China, it doesn't apply. So this additional tax is not applied under this regulation, new regulation starting from March. So looking at that, so there are several brands or Japanese brands who has their own production facility within Japan. So for these products are not, of course, not made in China. So these are not under this special increase of the tax. In the future video, I would like to explain about this kind of brands who are producing themselves within Japan, featuring made in Japan Japanese brands and so on. So please please wait for that further information. And for the moment, so I would like to explain again, review again what I explained. So first thing is that there are custom tax. So there you cannot escape for that. And especially for the US, entering the US, so they have US government have a new regulation from this spring and on, and some more seems to be coming from this April and later on. So, but looking at the details, there are some ups and downs. I mean, so some are included, some are not included, it seems. So you have to pay a lot of attention for that. To have the solid information when you are importing, so maybe you have a kind of agent who is importing your products from China or from Japan. So please consult with these people to make a solid, let's say, practical information. So that's it for today. I hope this was interesting for you. And if you have any questions or comments, please write in the comment section. And for the future, I would like to keep you feeding with this kind of interesting business, fishing tackle business information, as well as the general lure made in Japan or Japanese brands information and so on. So if you like it, please subscribe. Have a nice day. Bye.